great responsibility.
What's going on, moviegoers? So if you're new to the channel, my name is Christian and welcome to SeaWorld Productions. You guys, so some people they have their opinions, I'd like to say, about what Peter and Tony's relationship is in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, since we didn't get your typical origin story for Spider-Man in the MCU, because Kevin Feige just didn't want to go down that route, we've already seen it twice before, so he wanted to go a different direction. Hence, we didn't get the entire Spider-Bite scene. We didn't get the entire Uncle Ben scene and who Uncle Ben was to Peter in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, we've seen this plenty of times, different iterations, from the comic books, the animated series, to the movies. We never got that in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, since we haven't gotten that, some people think that Tony's role in Peter's life, being the mentor, is kind of like being Uncle Ben, but being Iron Man at the same time. Now, I don't necessarily have a problem with not seeing Uncle Ben in the MCU. Though I will have to say this. I wouldn't mind a flashback scene with an Uncle Ben with Tom Holland in his Spider-Man. I wouldn't mind that. I want to see the whole great power comes great responsibility. We have yet to see that in the MCU, or even, a mention of that, because that's what Uncle Ben told Peter, in the comic books and, in the original movies. We haven't really gotten anything like that in the MCU. Nothing. With Tony being the mentor, being there for Peter, supplying him with his tech, obviously, all of his costumes and stuff like that, his spider suits. It's kind of interesting to me, because some people think that, Tony's role is the Uncle Ben's role in the MCU. And with Spider-Man Far From Home coming out, people think that, the death of Tony is going to have the effect of the Uncle Ben death with Peter, But it's Tony. I don't know. It's like I said, I don't have a problem with that if they decide to go that route. Imagine by the end of Far From Home, right? He's so worried about being the next Iron Man. He's so worried about being the next Iron Man. By the end of the movie, he doesn't want to be the next Iron Man. He wants to become the first Spider-Man. Be Spider-Man, the hero you're supposed to be, right? And then by the end, let's say, the end of the movie or whatnot, he sees like a hologram of like RDJ, Tony. And it's like a final message to Peter. And he says, with great power comes great responsibility. Like, imagine if they went that route. Like, would you guys have an issue with it? I know I really wouldn't, but like I said, I still would like to see a flashback scene of Ben. Obviously he'd be a younger version of Ben, because Aunt May's young. This is a different iteration of Spider-Man. So, how old is, Uncle Ben? Probably going into his late 40s, going into his 50s, when you think about it, of when he passed away. So, I don't know. It's a lot of things that people are saying with, how Peter's being mentored, and now with this whole Mysterio thing coming in, and, Mysterio going to be like the cool uncle, stated by the director John Watts. He needs another mentor. I'm like, well, damn, how many mentors is Peter going to have? Like, when will he step into the shoes of being Spider-Man? That's my one thing. I want him just to step in to the shoes he's supposed to fit. His own. I don't want him to worry about being the new Iron Man, because you don't need to be a new Iron Man. We've had an Iron Man. Yes, be the new Iron Man could mean the idea of what Iron Man meant to the world. You know what I mean? Maybe they decide, to hint it like that, but not being actual, like the new Iron Man, obviously. But like I said, by the end of this movie, I want it to be Peter coming into his own shoes, becoming the Spider-Man that the world knows, that the world needs. I want that. Obviously, during the beginning and obviously, like the middle, he's going to be struggling with, and I feel like, an identity crisis of trying to figure out who he should be and what he should do. You know, what things are most important to him. Hanging out with his friends, trying to get with the girl that he likes, or being the hero that, that Tony expected him to be, and that Happy wants him to be, or, that Nick Fury needs him to be. So it's going to be juggling a lot of topics when we're talking about, the range of what Peter should be and what the character arc should go from here. I find it pretty interesting. Like I said, I don't mind that, that if we might not never ever see the Uncle Ben thing. I don't mind that. I don't. And I don't mind Tony being that Uncle Ben type figure, obviously, because he meant so much to Peter. So much. And, we're going to be dealing with the grief of Peter in Spider-Man Far From Home, like a lot, And I'm curious to see how that plays out, because it was an emotional impact, with that at the end of Endgame, when Peter got snapped away, Tony was devastated, and then when he came back, you just see the emotion when Tony hugs him for the first time, like not for the first time, but for the first time that he's back, obviously, I just find it interesting, you guys. I want to know what you guys' thoughts and opinions on this. Like, do you mind that Tony plays the Uncle Ben role in the MCU? Or would you rather have them do a flashback scene and the whole great power comes great responsibility type ordeal with Spider-Man? Post your comments down below, you guys. I'm curious to know what you guys' thoughts and opinions on this is. And thank you for taking time and for watching C-Roll Productions. Peace.